It's been a while since we made a top issues series on this channel, but now that we're back at it, we're going to take a look at the POCO F4, arguably one of, if not the best overall upper mid-range phone to get. But like any other device, it has its flaws. But does it? To give it a bit of context, I've been using the POCO F4 as my daily phone for more than a month. I'm still using it to this day as I prepare my 60-day review that'll go up on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed to see that. But with all the improvements and upgrades and refreshes the F4 brings, there are a few small issues I noticed. By the way, I am also going to confirm some issues encountered by other YouTubers and other users to give you more of an idea of what it's really like to own a POCO F4. So first is stabilization. I know the POCO F4 has improved cameras, jumping from a 48-megapixel Sony sensor to a 64-megapixel OmniVision sensor. The F4 should have better stabilization now that it comes with OIS or Optical Image Stabilization. For the most part, that's true. Just when you're locked in on subject, panning and just trying to follow a subject without moving, the OIS works great. But once you start walking, the OIS struggles to keep the footage stable. You can further stabilize your video with some techniques and with a gimbal, but there's a reason why OIS is present on this phone. And that's to help you stabilize your videos without much help from external factors or accessories like a gimbal. The second is MIUI. I'm not talking about MIUI in general, but just the home screen and the transition animation when swiping up to go home. The POCO F4 goes up to 8GB RAM and 256GB storage, so with that ton of RAM and storage as well as the high-end performance of the Snapdragon 870, you would expect this phone to just fly, at least when it comes to the simplest things like switching apps. Unfortunately, out of the box, the launcher here still isn't as polished as, say for example, the one of the POCO X4 GT that costs a bit less than this phone. That one is a really fluid POCO launcher. However, there is a workaround here. You just need to sideload the latest version of the POCO launcher, which is version 4.0. Out of the box, the POCO F4 comes with version 2.0, so that's a huge gap in terms of updates and optimization. With the newer version, though you lose the ability to change icons straight from the launcher, the overall fluidity of the home screen is just better and more responsive. But if you're expecting gestures to work on third-party launchers, that's still a no-no here. The third is the boot loop. Boot loops are probably the most common issue of POCO or Xiaomi phones since the arrival of the POCO C series, though a low-end budget-friendly lineup from the company. And while I've tested countless POCO devices over the past year, I'm glad to report that I have yet to encounter this critical issue. But the reason why I'm telling you this, despite my unit not really boot looping to oblivion, is to let you know that it's still a case-to-case basis. All I can say is if you're not the type of user who doesn't tweak your phone, for example downloading a ROM that drastically changes the software of the device, then you're less likely to encounter a boot loop. As for gaming, there have been problems with Asphalt 9 crashing right upon opening the app. Well, the game's been running just fine for me. But for Real Racing 3, it's still running at 60 frames and sometimes would crash from time to time. Do take note of that. There are a lot of games to test out here, but with my use case as of lately, I usually play Genshin Impact on my phone. So if you want me to test out a specific kind of game, let me know in the comments and maybe we can make a video out of it that's solely focused on gaming. For now, that's my top issues with the POCO F4. The POCO F4 hardly has any deal-breaking issue at the moment, so go knock yourself out and get one for yourself if you think this is the right phone for you. That said, drop a sub or like if you feel like supporting the channel, and as always, until the next one, stay safe.